Ever find yourself staring at a painting, like a really old one, and wondering, how'd they do that back then?
Right, like no computers, no fancy cameras, just pure skill and ingenuity.
Exactly. So today, we're diving into the art of 3D, way before 3D was even, well, a thing.
We're talking perspective tricks, clever uses of light, even fashion playing a role.
And it's all hiding in plain sight in some of history's most famous works of art.
Oh, we've got a fascinating document packed with examples. It's like a treasure map for art lovers.
First up, Johannes Vermeer, the master of light. He was doing this really cool thing like paintings within paintings.
Oh, yeah, you see that in the concert, for example. There's actually another painting tucked in there, The Procurus, by, if I remember right, Dirk van Babrin.
It's so detailed, makes you wonder, how did he get it so realistic?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Some art historians think Vermeer may have used a tool, kind of a pre-photography hack almost, a camera lucida.
A camera what now?
Camera lucida. Basically, imagine a prism on a stick. An artist would look through it and it'd project the scene right onto the canvas, ready to trace.
Like a high-tech tracing paper. Okay, but do we have any evidence Vermeer actually used this thing?
There are clues. Check out The Officer and the Laughing Girl. The officer's huge E compared to the girl. That's a classic sign of a camera lucida placed closer to, well, him in this case.
No way, it's like a hidden signature almost.
And get this, Vermeer's buddy, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, optics expert, invented the microscope. Makes you think they were swapping notes on the latest tech.
Like a Renaissance science fair? Okay, so, speaking of capturing images, we gotta talk about Louis Daguerre. This guy was obsessed with light.
Absolutely. Daguerre was convinced light could create images. He was right, by the way, which led him to the daguerreotype, basically a very, very early form of photography.
How does it work?
So you take this silver-plated copper sheet, treat it with iodine vapor, makes it sensitive to light, pop it in a camera, expose it, and boom, you got an image. Develop it using mercury vapor, and there you have it, a daguerreotype.
Wow, sounds complicated.
Oh, it was, but revolutionary. That process was a huge leap towards the photography we know and love today.
Talk about a game changer.
Speaking of game changers, we can't forget about perspective. Our document highlights Paolo Uccello. This guy, he was all about making his paintings jump off the canvas, like literally three-dimensional.
I can get behind that.
Oh, yeah. And he was meticulous.
Yeah.
His hunting in the forest, every tiny detail is placed perfectly to create this illusion of depth. It's masterful.
Sounds like he was really into the details.
Oh, he was. And get this, he also had some pretty strong opinions about hats. Hats. Uccello believed they added a whole other level of dimension to a portrait. He thought the volume, the shape, it all mattered.
Never thought about it like that.
Right. And he wasn't alone. Domenico Ghirlandaio, another artist, felt the same way. He even used them to leave his own little Easter eggs in his paintings.
Easter eggs, like hidden messages.
Exactly. For example, check out his portrait of Clarice Orsini. Stunning portrait, right? But her headdress. It's not just a fashion statement. It's a nod to Ghirlandaio's family business, jewelry. Their nickname was Garland Man.
Wow, that's some serious attention to detail.
It really is. And speaking of hats, let's not forget the chaperone.
The whateron.
Chaperone hat. You know, the ones with the big uneven brims?
Oh, right. Very fashionable.
They actually started as practical garments. Kept the sun and rain off you.
Makes sense.
But then they became a status symbol. Bigger the brim, more important you were.
Fashion, always sending a message.
Right. And Jan van Eyck, he even put one in what's thought to be the first ever oil self-portrait.
No way. Where can I see that one?
National Gallery in London. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. But just goes to show, the drive to create realistic 3D has been around for centuries. Artists were always experimenting, pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
It really makes you appreciate the art of illusion, doesn't it? Like, they were doing all this without the tools we take for granted today. I'm definitely going to be looking at art differently from now on. The details, the objects, the colors. Who knows what other secrets are hiding in plain sight?
That's the beauty of art. Always something new to discover.
What will you uncover?